Former high school prodigy Emoni Bates just got drafted to the Cavs with the 49th overall pick. Bates was the #1 player in his entire class as a high schooler and has had the camera on him basically since he was a kid. He went viral because he was literally 6'5" in 6th grade, but continued to play so good he was eventually on the cover of Sports Illustrated as a sophomore. He had offers to basically every school in the country and was expected to be a one-and-done type of player. Someone that's going to come in and have a great college season and then move on to the NBA pretty easily. But after a rough season with the University of Memphis and a better season with Eastern Michigan, the Cavs were able to draft him with a late second-round pick, which for the Cavs is honestly kind of a steal. You just drafted a player that was supposed to be the next Kevin Durant with a pick that really doesn't mean that much. One of the biggest weak spots for the Cavs is that small forward position. Bates can handle the ball really well for someone that's 6'8", and his shot creating ability is also extremely good for his height. He's at his best when he's in transition and can attack the rim better than people think. He's also just 19, so that means he's the same age as all of the one-and-dones in this year's draft. If you haven't followed along with Emoni Bates over the past few years, he completely skipped his senior year of high school and enrolled early with the University of Memphis. This means he started his freshman season at just 17 years old, which made him the youngest player in all of college basketball. Was this a smart decision looking back at it? Well, that's for you to decide. The Memphis team had his close friend and now NBA player Jalen Duren committed, along with a few other solid players. The team was also being coached by former NBA star Penny Hardaway, so it all seemed like a pretty good fit for someone looking to turn pro immediately. The first game of the season he played really well, scoring 17 points with 4 assists and 4 rebounds. But 17 points would be the most points he scored in a game that entire season. Although he would get close, he mostly sat around 10 points per game. Then after struggling with injuries to his hand and back that kept him out half the season, it was hard to judge him. He wasn't the most efficient though, and sometimes took questionable shots. When they went in, he looked like a true NBA player, but other times it didn't look as good. Then Penny Hardaway was moving him around to the guard spots, and that didn't help anything either. Not really fitting in with the offense and dealing with injuries were the main contributors to having such a lackluster season. At the end of the day though, he was just 18 and was supposed to be in high school anyways. He was able to redeem himself a little bit when he transferred to his hometown team of Eastern Michigan. Although that wouldn't come without hurting his draft stock even worse before his season at Eastern Michigan even started. The thing that hurt his draft stock just as bad as his freshman season was when he first got back to Michigan, he was pulled over with a gun. The charges against him were dropped because the gun wasn't his, but that just let every NBA scout know exactly who you hang out with. Nothing else came up after this incident, but still, one time is too many and it happened at the worst possible time. Regardless though, on this team, he was able to play a lot more like himself. He basically doubled his shots and points per game. The ball was in his hands a lot more, and he was actually the main scorer. The team itself was not good. They finished the season with an 8-23 record while being tied for the second worst team in the entire MAC conference. Bates averaged 19 points and 6 rebounds while shooting 40% overall and 33% from 3. Not the most efficient splits, but also definitely could be worse. There was a lot of ISO ball on this team, so it definitely felt more like when he was in high school and able to do literally whatever he wanted. At the combine, a lot of scouts were saying they were watching to see if Bates can make that Eastern Michigan impact while playing within a winning offense. And safe to say he did, because if he didn't, he without a doubt would have gone undrafted. He was the first player drafted from Eastern Michigan since Derek Dials in 1998. Bates is also going to a team that's trying to win right now. He's not joining a team that's been terrible for the last 10 years. I really think with how young Cleveland is, Emoni Bates might be able to actually thrive with him. Maybe the young winning mindset the Cavs have will help take him to the next level that college couldn't. A lot of people are questioning his finishing ability, but I think he'll honestly be fine. He'd definitely rather shoot a jump shot than take it to the rim, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. People see how skinny he is and think he's not gonna last, but he's so lengthy he avoids defenders when going to the hoop instead of going into them. He does have a questionable shot selection and loves that transition pull-up 3. He's just as good shooting off the dribble as he is catch and shoot as well. He has a really good overall package. There's a reason they were hyping him up for so many years when he was young. I really don't know how he's going to perform in the NBA or what his role is going to be. But I think that's the question the Cavs have too. Nobody really knows how good he can be. Just a few years ago, he was the next face of the league, and now he's a second-round pick. I'm excited to see what the Cavs are going to be able to turn him into. It sucks he went from such a big prospect with cameras following him around his whole life to being a second-round pick, but getting to the NBA alone is incredible. Plus, living up to all that pressure is almost impossible. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you could please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, it would mean a lot.